Today we're going to talk about exponents. An exponent tells the number of times the base is used as the product. An exponent tells the number of times the base is used as a product. For example, over here on the right, you have 4 to the power of 3. Your 3 is your exponent. The 4 is your base. So in this example, where the base is 4 and the exponent is 3, the 3 tells the base how many times to be multiplied. So in this case, 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. When you multiply that out, you get 64. These forms have names. For example, 4 cubed, or 4 to the power of 3, is called exponential form. But when you write it out, 4 times 4 times 4, that's considered expanded form. Remember, any number to the power of 0 is 1. The only exemption is for 0. 0 to the power of 0 is 0. So remember, any number to the power of 0 is 1. Let's try some examples. Six cubed, which also is 6 to the third power, in expanded form is 6 times 6 times 6. Your exponent, 3, tells you how many times to multiply the base. So you're going to multiply 6 3 times. When you multiply that together, you get an answer of 216. Starting from expanded form, your base is 4, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're multiplying that 7 times. So your exponent is going to be 7. When you use the calculator, multiply this out, 16,384. In the next example, it's 63 to the first power. Remember, the exponent tells you how many times to multiply it. So in this case, you're only multiplying it one time, which is 63. So the product is also 63. Pause the video and try 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Check your answers with the following problems. Look at number 7, 15 squared. Squared is also the exponent of 2. So in this case, 15 squared can be written as 15 to the second power. So the expanded form is 15 times 15, giving a product of 225. If you have any questions, pause the video and go ask your teacher. Let's talk about exponents with negative numbers. When putting a negative number to an exponent, it is important to look at the negative number is in the parentheses. If not, the negative just rides with the solution. When putting a negative number to an exponent, it is important to look if the negative number is in parentheses. If not, the negative just rides with the solution. Looking here below, Negative 3 is within parentheses. So every time you multiply, you want to multiply everything within the parentheses. So negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9 times a negative 3 is a negative 27. On the next example, negative 5 times 4. There are no parentheses, so you're only expanding with the 5. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Make sure you bring that negative so it tags on to your final answer. Let's try a few problems. If it helps, remember your negative and positive chart. Positive times a negative is a negative. Negative times a positive is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 2 to the 4th power. Negative 2 is in parentheses, so you're going to expand with negative 2 each time. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 2 is 16. Going from expanded form, there should be a negative 1 out front here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 threes. So your base is 3. There's only a negative on the front number, so there's no parentheses, and you're multiplying it 5 times. Remember, the exponent tells you how many times to multiply. The base is what you're multiplying. So when you multiply 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, you get 243, but don't forget to tag on that negative. In problem 3, there are no parentheses. Your exponent is only touching the 4. So in order to remember to tag on our negative, let's place a negative 1 out front. So negative 1 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So your base is 4, and your exponent tells you you're going to multiply it 5 times. When I get the product, that is going to be negative 1,024. Looking at the next problem. Negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. Since the negative is with each portion of this problem, you need to put this in parentheses. Since you multiply it 3 times, your exponent is 3. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25, times a negative 5 is a negative 125. On number 6, make sure there is a negative 1 times the 8s. Pause the video and try 5, 6, 7, and 8. Check your answers and ask your teacher if you have any questions. Let's practice some more exponents. We're going to do the odds together. You're going to practice the evens. Problem 1, negative 2 to the 4th power. The negative 2 is in parentheses, so that means you're multiplying the negative 2 4 times. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 2 is 16. Circle your final answer. Problem 3. Negative 2 to the third power plus 1. You want to evaluate your exponent first. Since there's no parentheses, you are only raising the 2 to the power of 3, but don't forget about your negative. So we remember the negative. I'm going to put a negative 1 out front, times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So that'll be a negative 8 plus 1. You have different signs, so you're going to subtract to get 7. Take the sign of the larger number, which is 8, and it's negative. So your final answer is negative 7. Circle that. Number 5. You want to evaluate your exponent first prior to multiplying left to right. Negative 1 to the 7th power. There's no parentheses. So you want to place a negative 1 out front. Now raise 1 to the power of 7. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, 6, 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 times 1 is going to be 1. So this answer is going to be negative 1 times negative 3 times 2. Work left to right. Negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3 times 2, which is 6. Circle your final answer. Evaluate your exponents first. Negative 3 cubed. Negative 3 is in parentheses, so each time you're going to multiply negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27, plus negative 1 times negative 1 is going to be a positive 1. You have different signs, so you're going to subtract, take the sign of the larger number. So your final answer will be negative 26. Evaluate your exponents first. 5 is not in parentheses, so this is just 5 times 5. So you get negative 2 minus 25. Remember, a minus is the same thing as a negative. So you have a negative 2 and a negative 25. Same signs, you add and keep the sign. Circle your final answer of negative 27. Pause the video, try the evens 2 through 10. Check your answers with the ones written below. Ask your teacher if you have any questions. Check your answers with the following problems.